Great day, divine melanated souls. We're divine. This is divinity in motion. Everything that you see, feel, smell, touch, hear is divinity in action. And you get to express yourself in a divine way. I'm a voice of consciousness in the flesh, right here, sharing what I know based on my life's experiences, because that's what we all do. We log information, or offline we acquire information through the experiences, and we process. You can process it at high frequency, you can process it at low frequency, but you're processing information 24/7. There's no time that you're not. So, and a major portion of that is because we are what? Energy, frequency, and vibration. We have to start calling things as they really and truly are. And the only reason we're not calling things as they really and truly are, mainly because those that we depend on to define it for us, number one, they don't want you to know. Number two, they don't fully know. And number three, they know who you are and what you represent. And who you are and what you represent is divinity, eternal, infinite, divine presence is what you are. Right here in the flesh, living, breathing, and enjoying it. Because that's the key. The key is to enjoy this. You are not to allow anything or anyone that is outside of you, the presence that you are, that which is experiencing, or that is the experience of the all. You represent that. And you are not to allow or let anything take you away from that. So, at best they can do is distract. At best, the only thing that can be done is to promote fear, because fear keeps you focused on and takes your attention away from the inner self. So, for those of us that understand, understand, and overstand, there must be balance. All energy has to balance. So that's what's happening now. We're coming to terms in this cycle, because everything cycles. I know they want to make you think about linearity, from back then to here now to tomorrow, like a straight line kind of thing. But in that actuality, it's cyclical and it's constantly expanding. Energy, that's what you are. Expanding cyclical energy that has the ability not to manifest, because everything that ever exists or that ever will exist is already here. You only have to vibrate at a frequency that will magnetize yourself to where it is that you might have imagined or that you may be focusing on. but it already exists. That's the whole idea of the quantum field of possibilities. Everything exists right here at the same time. Now, the portals, right now, your divinity has a uniqueness about you. There's a uniqueness about you, and only you have the key to it. I cannot access your key divinity. I can't access it. I wouldn't be able to access it. That's the whole thing. They want to get your DNA, they want to check your blood, and all these different things. It's not a physical thing. It's not physical. It's non-local. Everybody wants to think that, oh, they want to change your DNA and they want to change the RNA and the structure and all of this stuff. And there is some possibilities of manipulation, of course. But when you tune in, turn on, tune in and turn up, nothing they can do to you, nothing they can do with you. You're vibrating too fast, frequency too high, can't touch you. Like Hammer said, can't touch this. When you're vibrating at the level that you are naturally in harmony and in balance with, which is what is coming, what is here, what is expanding daily, it's a frequency to balance. Nature is balancing itself. You cut yourself, it heals. You do anything to hurt yourself, it heals. It will be restored. There's a restorative process to nature. There's a self-propelling, self-generating process to the divinity that you are. I am. Everything is. But if you decide you don't want to see it, then your brain will only process the level of that which you're willing to accept. There's a hidden you, and there's the you that everybody sees. But then there's the you that you don't even see, unless you develop a relationship with yourself. And it's not about playing with yourself and doing some freaky and you can do that if that's what you want. That's not to say you can't enjoy yourself in that way. Yeah, sure you can. There's nothing wrong with anything you want to do to you. What happens is when you start thinking that you're better than, or you can do more than, or you're like minimizing all aspects of that which is here to support you. Everything is here for everything else. If it's nothing else but to be able to see what can be done based on what has been happening with this, or if I take that and tweak it, how to work for me. It's not a good, bad, right or wrong, up or down, in or out. It's more about what level of frequency can you handle in any given moment. That's why the radiation of everything is just a part of this world we live in. Because some of us are vibrating so high that it doesn't matter what they do. Their diseases, their traumas can't touch this. That's what we must know. No, not think, not believe. Be, being, L-I-E, L-E-A-V, leaving, being, leaving the lie. Believing the lie. You have to stop believing. What must happen is know who you are. And the way you know who you are is to make the adjustments emotionally, psychologically, and there's a spirituality that you are in touch with but are afraid of because you've been told that it's spooky, it's bad, it's dark, is this, is that. And it's none of those things. It's necessary. There's no front without a back. There's no front without a back. When you see the crest of a wave, you don't see the trough behind it, which is holding the wave up. There is no front without a back. Flip a coin, heads or tails, give me the edge. Why? Because the edge connects to the front and the heads and the tails. See, you don't want to limit yourself. And that's the mindset that you've been conditionally programmed to do, have, and be. And that's not what's going to get you to the next level, whatever that is, wherever you're trying to go, however you want to frame it, you won't get there limiting yourself with the way you think of yourself. So you're a divine being, having a divine experience. Having a divine experience, your divinity, walking, talking, breathing, actually in motion. And your divinity from the mind's eye of the all that is. You represent that. You're standing in a space, you're occupying space, and your fingerprint is the key to your divinity, connecting you with your special trait, special skill, or whatever that might be that you have to offer in this plane of existence. That's why you're here. You wouldn't be here otherwise. If you didn't have anything to offer, or you wasn't able to put something down or bring something around to sharing some aspect of the all expressed as you, then you wouldn't be here. Nobody, everything here is supposed to be here. Oh, that shouldn't be, that was an accident, no such thing. The universe, everything is recycled. Nothing is lost. Nothing is lost. Nothing is lost. All is utilized when it's time. Cyclical cycles happens, divinity and divine cycles happen when it's time, in its time, for whatever it is designed to do. You are designed for something specifically, particularly to you. Might not be what somebody else wants, might be not what's expected, might not be, it doesn't matter what others are thinking. It has nothing to do with them. It has everything to do with you. It has everything to do with me. And I must find my center. There's a center that harmonizes and balances all of me with the source. And once I do that, that harmonizes and balances and synchronizes with the community of the whole of the matter. Because I'm already whole in my individualized space. However, I must center and be balanced within that space. Occupy, in other words, you travel your own lane. Stay in your lane. Well, your lane could be over here today and over there tomorrow. You could be a marcher for civil rights one day, and you could be shooting down enemy jets next. There's no one thing that we've come here to do. Our particular tasks are multiplicitous. We do more than one thing at any given time. And so we're processing information, and the information that we're processing has everything to do with what level of experience we have with exposure. What level of experience that we have with the exposure, which brings about the wisdom, which allows you to know. You don't know if you don't experience it. Just reading a book is not going to give it to you. You can remember, because that's really what you're doing. When you read a book and you matriculate from A to B, from grade 1 to grade 18, 20, whatever it is, you're going through phases and stages where you're rememorizing or memorizing information that is not your own. You're not having the experience with it. You're reading a book, and there's nothing wrong with that. However, indigenous, melanated divinity is the book. You are the history. You carry the DNA. You are the lineage of the all that is. You in the present, in the flesh, right here, right now. You are it. And because you are afraid to stand on it, and that's your choice you gotta make. That's not a good or bad thing. Your time isn't now. There's some of us time is, and there's some of us time that isn't. It's not about, I missed the train. If you missed the train, you wasn't supposed to catch that train. Plain and simple. Because when it's your time, it's your time. And ain't nothing that's gonna stop that. And that's where we are. We're in a place, in a space and time where there's nothing that can be done about what is the natural process endogenously. This thing is beyond manipulative, simple, man-made processes. But you must know it. You must not be afraid to stand in it. Embrace it. For it is you. And so we are here in this time specifically to share that which is the precious time of all times. This is a cycle that's been repeated over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. We just don't remember. And we don't remember because we're not supposed to remember it. We're supposed to experience it. And then once we experience it, a switch comes on, something clicks, and now we remember. Because it's you. Source. The source. You're an expression of the source. We're an expression of the source. Everything is an expression of the source. There's nothing that's here that's not expressing some aspect of the source. But question now, we've been on the left, we've been on the right. Now we must balance both sides. You can't have a car battery in your car and the car go anywhere if you don't have the negative and the positive engaged. The electricity has to have negative and a positive charge. Negative ions to water is what makes you actually feel good. Niagara Falls, crashing water, creating the negative ions, you get the great feel-good feelings. The positive ions, water, if it's positive charge only, it drains you and pulls you down, makes you lethargic. So you can't go by negative, positive. You must know balance. And if you don't know energy, frequency, and vibration, you won't understand what I'm talking about. You won't be able to relate to where I'm coming from because that's bad or that's good or that's not good. Well, you want to last throughout eternity with the consciousness. You want to be able to hold this frequency, this high frequency that's coming, that is expanding everything. Everything is expanding with it. That's why they're doing all the stuff they're doing. The system of things, the man-made system of things. That's why they're doing what they're doing, because they know what's happening. They own that. They own the stars. They know more about the stuff that tell you to stay away from, the voodoo and the hoodoo and all. They know more about that stuff than you think, and they utilize it to their advantage. They got you worrying about and stressing over death. Death is transitioning. Death is a transitional period for consciousness. Death, while you may not see it physically, the being, that consciousness moves on. It could come into another being, or it can be spread out like the gazillion molecules of atoms that when they tried to split the atom, they got a gazillion more atoms. So if you stop the energy from the vessel that it streams through, all you do is disperse it and allow it to be able to stream throughout any dimension, throughout any time, throughout any other source other than the source that it once had. So it's a lot to this that we're not given, and you're not going to get it from those who don't want you to have it, because they need to utilize you to harvest your energy. That's all they do. That's what concerts are, and that's what all this death and fear of death and all that. They're harvesting energy. It's an energy harvest. It's like vampires. It's an energetic sucking of your energy, draining you of your energy. Why? To use it, to consume it, to keep perpetuating whatever it is that's needed by them. So you can do the exact same thing, but at a higher level. Matter of fact, that's what you're here to do. If you're not here to do that, then nature will deal with it organically. It got nothing to do with me. It's not for me to say what's going to happen. All I know is that we have the ability to harvest the energy of those who transition just like they do. And however, the difference is, it is not to stress, strain, create more pressure to dominate and control. It's more about allowing it to free you. Because the minute you're no longer attaching yourself to those things that don't exist, because that's what it is, you're attaching yourself to stuff that in your mind, or an idea that doesn't really exist. It's an idea. You give energy to an idea, and then it becomes whatever it becomes as a result of you giving energy to it. Focus. Your focus and your will and your intention and all of that is what allows it to magnetize you to the place where it exists, because everything already exists. So it's just a whole nother level of what has to come about. And it's very difficult if you're trying to hold on to that which does not work for you. Your divine being, the stuff that you want to hold on to is divine, but it's at the lowest possible level of frequency. So you can't use it to take you further. If you're using it, it's only going to keep you stuck where it is. It has no other way to move other than you move it. So we are here to know, not to guess, not to think, not to wish and pray. We know. That's why we meditate, we do breath exercises, we hug trees, we stargaze, we look at the sun, and you have a sun in you. There's a black sun, there's they call it black holes, or they call you a black, they call what they're doing black holes, but you have black holes too. You're a black hole. Go inside and you can come out completely, totally different, depending on your processing the information and what you're looking to do with yourself. It's not about what I think. It's about what I know. Now, if you don't know it, that's on you. It has nothing to do. That doesn't change what I know, because you don't know it. Oh, but what about this? Well, what about it? My focus is on what I understand and understand and overstand balanced. My focus is on what I know. My focus is not on what you know. I don't know what you know. I don't know what your experiences have been. I don't know your life. I don't know where you came from. I don't know what you went through. Everybody's got a story. Everybody got a story. Everybody. Nobody did not have a story. And nobody's story is more. That's the other side of it. We must respect everybody's walk, regardless of what we think and how we feel. The respect that's a divinity. Divinity, walking, talking, breathing. Divinity respects its presence. And its presence is everything that is present. Everything. Hey, if I have a problem with it, I'll stay away from it. Best thing to do is leave it alone. I don't want to be bothered with that. If it's not gonna respect and do what I know I need and what is necessary for me, then I'll leave it alone. Get away from that. I'm not gonna beleaguer my mind and push myself into something that is unhappy and miserable. I'm an happy person. I'm not miserable. I'm happy. And I'm happy because I know who and what I am. I know what is going on. I'm not confused about anything. I'm amazingly happy about that. I said that to somebody and they had an issue. Well, but you got a new woman, you get this, and it's got to be, you got some money. It's me. The happiness is in me. It's what I know. It's because I am who I am, as I am, right where I am, being the all that I am, with the efforts and the will of intention to consciously bear witness to the presence that is. That's overjoyous to me. And when you get to a place where you know that, now you have to maintain it. So that means you stay away from nonsense. So stuff that's not superior, I'm not going to call it superior. Superior to what? Superior ignorance? Okay. Superior ignorance. Supremacy? Okay. Supreme ignorance. Call it as it is. Don't give it something or a moniker or give it a title and it cannot stand up to it. So again, voice of consciousness, I am. Out.